Hello to all of you out there in YouTube land, and welcome back into my office. This is the pastor's office, the office at Zion Covenant Church, an office which I have had the privilege of occupying for several years now. And like all human beings, whenever we occupy space, we tend to collect and accumulate things. What is fascinating is that things tend to have their own stories to them. And many of us don't necessarily see the inside of a pastor's office. And if we do, and we glance at something, we don't have a chance to really ask or follow up on why is that there? What is the significance of it? What does it mean? There are lots of things in this office that have been given to me over the years, and some things that I have intentionally sought out, but they have all been very, very meaningful, either to me personally or to ministry that I have been involved in. So this is just an opportunity to point some things out to you, my virtual friends, wherever you are gathered in the real world. What I would like to show you today is this. And it might be difficult to tell exactly what it is that you're looking at. I know sometimes when I see this, when I glance up from my desk, I often think that it is a replica of the human brain. But it is not. It is a prayer labyrinth, a finger prayer labyrinth to be precise. So if you have any kind of exposure to labyrinths, these date back in the Christian tradition, at least as far back as the medieval period. And these are just ways to engage in a different kind of prayer. It's a walking prayer. And they are very intentional. They have particular designs to them. There are multiple designs behind labyrinths. And they are meant to move you around and to change your position and to sort of cause you on your way in to think about your life and to think about your journey and to be mindful of the burdens that you're carrying so that when you get to the center, you find kind of a spaciousness. And that is an opportunity to consider what it is to meet with God and to recognize that God has been with you the entire journey. And therefore, as you release these things to God and you walk back out of the labyrinth, winding the same path that you wound to get in there, it's an opportunity to remember that God is with you and he's going with you out of the labyrinth, back into the world, back into the problems or the burdens that you have carried previous to your prayer walk. And that you take God back with you and whatever revelations or whatever encouragements he has given you during that time of prayer. So not everybody can build a physical prayer walk, a labyrinth of this style. Not everyone can seek one out and participate in it. So it's not uncommon to have finger labyrinths. These are things that you can have just on a little 8.5 by 11 piece of paper with the labyrinth design. And sometimes people use these in their office spaces or at their work. And it's a way to just trace the path with your finger, but still to engage your mind and your spirit in the same way that you would as if you were physically walking the path. These are often just two-dimensional, just ink on paper. But I was in a spiritual direction cohort a few years ago, and each of us who were studying and learning how to be spiritual directors, how to participate in spiritual direction, we had to lead a morning devotional so that we broke the week up into the various cohort members, and each person was responsible to do one thing. And one of the ladies in our group decided to do, it was actually a pair or maybe even a triad of ladies involved in this. They decided to do a finger labyrinth, but they did it more three-dimensionally. Instead of just ink on paper, they used a hot glue with a gold glitter so that it stands up off the page so that when you participate in it with your finger, it actually stays in the lines. It stays in the groove. There is a contact point and a different sense involved, the touch sense, instead of just sort of the mind being engaged to trace on the paper. And it creates a very, very different experience. This is meant to be soothing and calming and a prayer exercise. And most people don't even know that it's there on my shelf. So the next time you're in my office, maybe you can ask to participate in my finger labyrinth. Or even if you're just having a stressful day and regular prayer is either too heavy or just not something that you're in the space for, and you would like to do something a little more tactile and in a little different kind of tradition, then by all means, ask to borrow this from me. I would love for you to get the benefit that I have access to on a regular basis. So that's one more thing in my office. We are going to see each other again sometime in the future, Lord willing, and we're going to look around and spot some other things so that I can share with you some of the meaningful stories that lie behind the objects. But until then, I'm hoping to see you soon, either back on the screen again or maybe even in person.